Now, to all my light workers out there, what did you come for? What did you come for? What is your light for? See, it's time for my light workers to get out of the soul trap. The life purpose soul trap. You're meant to shine your light for the world to see. In other words, you're meant to be in joy and happiness. You're not meant to share your light in the dark agenda. Some of us have been trapped. We didn't even know there were traps set. A lot of people run around just saying as a catchphrase, love and light, love and light. It's very interesting. Very interesting. The reason I got this pulled up is because I want to show you a little story. Some of y'all probably know it, but let me share this with you. The same day went Jesus out of the house and sat by the seaside. Why the seaside? The seaside is a symbol for humanity. He went and sat by humanity, by the side of humanity. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat. And the whole multitude stood on the shore. Now he's sitting on a ship on top of humanity. The whole multitude stood on the shore. Why? Because they were just as dense as the water. They were just like the sea. They would go to the bottom like a rock and drop. They couldn't walk on water. They couldn't walk on humanity. They couldn't walk on their lower nature to rise above to their higher nature. So they had to stand on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. I won't go into what everything means, all of the symbols, because I want to get to my point. But some of the seeds that were sowed by the sower, or let's say source. The sower is source. So let's just say source went forth to sow some souls. And when he sowed some of them fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. They got ate up. So see, some souls can get ate up because they fell by the wayside. They didn't keep it pushing the way they were supposed to. Some fell up on stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. In other words, they couldn't come into a physical maturation of themselves. So when the sun came up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And when the sun came up, they were scorched. They had no root and they withered away. They had nothing. They had not rooted into their human nature. They had not rooted into the earth that was given into them. They had no root, so they withered away. They became lost souls. Let's not forget we're talking about souls here. they withered away. They were lost. So see, now we see some souls can get 8, some souls wither away and become lost. Some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. Listen to this. Some fell among thorns. In other words, some of us are born into thorny families. Some of us are born into or come into thorny situations. And those thorns choke them out. Put out their flame. You hear what I'm saying? Choke them out. They're no longer a soul. They get to go back in the cosmic dust return now because they're no more. But other fell onto good ground, and they brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Now, some of us fell on good ground. In other words, we were able to take root, we were able to grow, we were able to flourish. We had all of the sun we needed, not too much, not too little. We're so prospered. And then they start to bring forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. In other words, they started to create in their own image. They started to give their joy out, and their joy became contagious. And that contagious joy for life, for all things, it means to be you. That contagious joy infects others. And when it infects others, it becomes a part of them. It becomes a part of their light code, a part of the epigenetics that they pass on to their children, which then becomes integrated into their DNA. So by you being you, living in complete joy and optimism, being exactly who you desire to be for the betterment of mankind, it infects all. Just you being you. See, you fell on good ground. So you should be able to give good fruit. And of course, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. But here is something. If you stuck with me this long, check this out. The disciples came to him and they said, "Why speakest thou unto them in parables?" He answered and said unto them, "Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given." Who's the them? Who is the them we always are talking about? Who's the them? We're always talking about them, right? They did this. The Illuminati. We don't know who they are. Let me tell you a secret. The they, the them, to whom it's not given, are those who have no more connection with Source. See, people lose their connections all day, every day. Just like people born and they die, our babies are born and people die, whatever way you want to take it. People lose their connections with Source day in and day out. And then other people reconnect with Source day in and day out. This is a continual process that happens. So it's not given until to the unconscious, to the ones who are not fully aware of their existence. It's not given to them. They are a form of consciousness. They are a form of consciousness that is called the collective consciousness. Do you hear me? There's only one consciousness from Source, And it is the unified field of consciousness. It is the unified consciousness of source. To be in human consciousness is to be in a collective consciousness. In other words, is to be in a consciousness that has been collected for another's purpose. So I say this to you. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. What are we talking about? The connection to source. The connection to your higher self, which allows you to connect to the unified field of consciousness. That stream of consciousness straight from source. Which is why you don't need nobody to teach you. It's written on your heart if you're connected. So therefore, speak I to them in parables, because they seeing, see not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. It's time for you to understand, or you to understand, or for you to overstand this fact. Judgment has now come upon those who bear the souls upon this earth, the ones who call themselves light workers, the ones who keep preaching to the choir, they keep preaching to the same people over and over. Light workers preaching to light workers, light workers preaching to light workers. How many damn times you got to be saved? How many damn times you got to hear the